If you've been wanting to start doing your nails at home, this is the one tutorial I wish I had when I was a beginner. Today I'll be breaking down from start to finish how to get that perfect gel manicure on yourself that lasts over a month. You can see the proof. I have a lot of grow on my right hand. And I've mastered the art of gel manicures to where my nails never lift. So sit down and relax and let's get into the video. Step 1 is nail shaping. I want my nails to have that perfect, like, short, square, sharp look to them. So I'm using this straight edge nail clipper. I was going to say cuticle clipper, but no. I mean, you can actually use a cuticle clipper as well if you don't have a straight edge clipper like this. I'm taking down a good amount of length today. I had Gel-X on my nails beforehand. I think I actually used a peel off base for that. I usually do that with all of my videos because I like getting a lot of content out to you guys. And with the peel off base that I use, I can just pop them off right after. It's kind of like that pop off set vibe. Also, if you're wondering why I have two completely different nail lengths, it's because my right hand, I try and focus on just growing them out. Like, it's more of just a hand that's going to be seen on the camera, but my left hand is always my content hand. So like any video I do, it's usually on the left hand. So I prefer to keep them short. Like sometimes I'll put press-ons on them or I'll do Gel-X on them. It's just my content hands. That's why they're two different lengths. Next, I'm going to use my 100 grit nail file. And just for reference, the lower the number, like on a grit, the more coarse it is. So I use this to shape them up because it's very coarse, and you can also use this nail file to take off bulk of gel, or you can use it to kind of thin down your Gel-X before you soak them off. Now for cuticle prep, I like using this metal cuticle pusher. I like that it's flat, and you want to make sure that it's kind of flat against your nail. You don't want to push it vertically or else you might dig into your nail and create a mark, or your finger might slip and like slide down your nail. You just don't want to harm yourself with this. So just lightly push them back. And now for cuticle clipping, I guess this step is optional. If you're not comfortable with like clipping your cuticles, you don't have to. I just get a lot of questions on how I get my cuticles and my nails to look super fresh and clean, and that's because I clip off the dead skin like I'm doing here. I think the sharper your cuticle clippers are, the easier this is gonna be, because if they're dull, it's just gonna kind of grab at your skin and it might nick you, because it should just be cutting through like super easily. Like you can see here, I'm just cutting off the dry, flaky part. I'm not actually going into the live tissue of my nail. I'm gonna show it again from a different angle so you guys can really get the feel for it. I feel like when you clip the cuticles, it frees up so much of that space on your nail plate and also makes your nail beds look longer. I guess this video can also be me answering some frequently asked questions. So a big question I get a lot of the time is like, what are some of the best beginner-friendly nail essential products to get? And I highly recommend that you always have lint-free wipes and a dispenser that has rubbing alcohol in it, because nail prep is so important. And right now I'm putting that on my nails to get rid of any of the unnecessary oils on my nail plate. I think I put on some lotion before this video, so you just want to remove all of that, because after this we're going to use a nail drill and you don't want any of that buildup from your natural nails getting on the nail drill bit. Now this is a mini sanding band. If you don't have a nail drill or this mini sanding band, you can just use a nail buffer. And the reason this drill bit is super safe to use on your natural nails is because this is a 180 grit sanding band. And as I said before, the lower the number, the more coarse it is. And 180 is a super high number. Actually, this might be 240, so this is like even softer. But yeah, I'm using this to remove the shine of the nail, because you kind of want to rough up the surface of the nail, and if it's shiny, the gel is going to have nothing to stick onto and your nails are not going to last long. So just use the drill and go very quickly over the surface of your nails. Do not stay in one place for too long or you might get a heat spike, which just feels like a very like sharp burn on your nails from you drilling like into your nail plate. So to recap, if you're following along at home, you want to shape up your nails, do your cuticle work, and then prep the surface of your nails. Now these next steps are super important. You want to dehydrate and prime your nails, and to do that, I'm using this rubbing alcohol on the lint-free wipe again to get rid of all of the like dust or buildup from the nail drill. You absolutely do not need to buy dehydrator in bottle form, because that is literally just rubbing alcohol and probably acetone in the same mixture. So I think it's better to just have those individual nail products to yourself and then use them how you want to, as opposed to having it in that bottled form, which is super tiny anyway. Now, I always use primer. A lot of people don't. I really think it's up to preference and what your natural nail plate needs. For me, I always need primer. I feel like it helps the gel kind of bond better to my natural nails. And you want to use this in moderation. I'm only going over it in one swipe in the same place, because if you use too much, you actually might cause your nails to pop off. So yeah, everything's kind of a work in progress. It kind of comes easier the more you do it. Nail prep is done. Going into the gel application, I always use a base coat. This is from Beetles. I use this for a couple of different reasons. For one, I just like having a protective layer like between the builder gel and my natural nail. So I feel like this gel base coat is kind of that protective barrier. For instance, if I wanted to like soak this off or remove this, or even like drill down on my nail, I'll have this base coat as a layer so I'm not damaging my natural nail plate. And the other reason I use this is because gel sticks to gel even better than it sticks to your natural nail plate. Kind of like double-sided tape, the builder gel is going to stick super well to this base coat gel. So I make sure to apply a thin, even layer of this, and then I cure that for an entire minute. Now for the builder gel application, I'm using this one from Beetles again, and this is the exact same shade that's on my right hand. I feel like this is like my perfect natural nude like base, especially if I'm doing a French tip, which I am for this video. And for builder gel, the first thing you want to do is have little to no product on your brush, and you want to do a thin, even layer first that you do not cure. And this layer is called the slip layer. And the slip layer is basically, I make this analogy all the time. You can say it's the crumb coat like before you do a cake. You can say it's the primer before you do your makeup. It's basically just that layer that's gonna allow the layer on top to flow evenly. And it's the foundation before you actually add the structure. So now I'm picking up a bigger bead of that builder gel, and I like to place it kind of a hairline away from the cuticle, just because I don't want it to flood it. It gets quite annoying when you're doing a gel manicure and it floods to the cuticle, and it gets a little harder to clean it up as you go. So once you apply that builder gel, you just want to use a liner brush. I honestly should have used a longer liner brush than this, but yeah, you just want to place the nail kind of going down because gravity pulls it down. And using that liner brush, you're literally just going to guide the gel where you want it to go. For instance, I placed the builder gel in the middle of the nail, so you want to use your liner brush to guide the gel to the sides of the nail and the end of it. You do want to be quick with this step, because if you leave your hand in one motion for too long, the gel is going to pull to that side. So once you check it, it should be like a solid line and not a wonky line, because if it's wonky, it just means that it's kind of uneven. And I like my nails like this, so I flash cure in place so it doesn't move. And for extra short, like crisp square nails like this, I don't like a crazy apex. I just want my nails to look as natural as they can. But if you do want an apex, then just make sure that you're putting a lot more gel in the center. And then when you guide the gel polish where you want it to go, make sure that it's thinner on the ends of your nail to give it more of that arch. And if you're new to doing nails, apex just means like the highest point of your nail. So if you think about acrylic nails, it's kind of like that curve in the center of your nail. So whenever you have grown out nails, the apex of your nail changes, which is why some people's nails break off when you let it grow out too long, because the structure is all unbalanced. But if you're doing short nails like this, I'm gonna be honest, you don't even need a crazy apex because your nails aren't really long enough to break in that sense. But if you have super long natural nails, you definitely need an apex, or else your nails are going to bend at that stress point, which is wherever your nail starts to grow from your nail base, which is mainly just the white part of your nail. And for builder gel nails, I just like to flash every individual nail as I go. I'm not doing a full cure by any means. I just want to apply the polish and then cure all together at the end. So here's how that whole process would look if you're doing it at home. Now, since I filmed this video, I have actually purchased a bubblegum pink builder gel that matches the color of this polish, but when I filmed this video, I didn't have it, so I'm applying this jelly pink polish on top to give it that bubblegum pink look. And if you're like me and you always manage to get lint in your nails, please take it out before you finish the entire process, or else your nails are going to look bumpy. I like using the end of that cuticle pusher I used in one of the beginning steps. And if you always get a messy polish application, I recommend that you like ease up the polish brush a hairline away from the cuticle. Like, don't put the polish all the way up to the base of your nail. You want to put it a little bit away, and then just take your time with it. Like, it's not a race, and I always go over the same spots a million times until it's perfect to me. And nails are definitely a labor of love, so the more time you put into it, the better it'll look and the better you'll get over time. But if you do make a mistake and get some gel polish on your skin or the cuticle, just use a flat edge brush and some rubbing alcohol and just swipe it away before you cure. This is important to do as you go, because you just want to limit the amount of times that gel products get on your skin, because you don't want to overexpose yourself to the chemicals in gel products. For instance, you may have heard people talk about contact dermatitis when it comes to gel nails, but do not let that name scare you, because contact dermatitis is simply an allergic skin reaction that happens when your skin comes into contact with something that it doesn't like. And this isn't just from gel. It can be perfume, makeup, soap, laundry detergent, certain metals, and plants like poison ivy, and literally so many other things under the sun. And something important to remember is that everyone's body is so different, and what causes a reaction for one person might not bother someone else at all. So the goal isn't to be afraid of gel products, it's just to use them properly and avoid getting uncured gel on your skin as much as possible, just to lower the chance of developing an allergy over time. Now back to the tutorial. I'm using my longest liner brush possible for French tips. This actually might be my 20mm brush, or maybe my 25. I think it's just a 20. But yeah, the longer the liner brush, the easier the French tip is gonna be, and that's just because you can just place the brush down and it creates a solid line without you having to do anything. And since the brush is long, you can also just flick it down to create that perfect arch. Since my nails are so short, this is a lot easier, because I mean, the liner brush is the same thickness as the French tip that I'm making. And another tip, if you want to get perfect French tips every time, is to just use a polish that's opaque enough to where you don't have to do several layers, because you want to keep the gel application relatively thin. Like, you don't want a bulky French on your nails, or maybe you do. Maybe it's all up to preference. And I feel like Frenchies are so easy to do when you do it side by side, kind of like you break it up in half. Like, I'm going from the middle and then going to the other end, as opposed to me doing one long sweep. And this time I'm using 100% acetone instead of using rubbing alcohol to clean up the white, just because when I use rubbing alcohol, it kind of will mess up the design and it kind of smears it. But acetone will make it very crisp and it dries down super quick. So if you mess up a design, use acetone and not alcohol. Now, this is up to personal preference, but I know myself and I'll probably mess up my finger if I don't cure it as I go. So I do cure every nail for 1 minute so I can just have that peace of mind. And before, I was showing how to do the French using your own viewpoint, like I was doing the nail facing me. But now I'm going to show you how to do the nail if you're doing it on a client, so it's facing kind of away from you. I'll take a short square French over a long almond French any day, and now that that's all complete, I'm going to cure the entire hand for a full minute again. And for this Frenchie, I'm trying something new. I'm using that same bubblegum pink that I put over the builder gel, and I'm going over the entire nail with this. I kind of just want to create that barely there type of French look, and I feel like it makes it look so much softer. And again, I do take my time with this. I go over the same spot a million times to make sure it's as thin as I want it, because I don't want the French tip to look like a solid pink. So I want to kind of make it thinned out on the ends. Also, another frequently asked question I get is, what are some beginner nail products that you recommend? And I actually have a whole category in my Amazon storefront called Beginner Nail Essentials. And you can find my Amazon storefront in the link tree of my bio at the top of my page. It's all linked there. And I truly have a category for everything, you guys. Like, I have a category for my jewelry, I have a category for my Gelix essentials and my chrome essentials. Like, I have it all laid out, so it'll be super easy to find. And if you're ever looking at my videos or any nail design that I do on my page and you want to see what specific products go into every look, you can find all of that in my Amazon storefront under nail recreation. It's literally at the top. Top coating is always my favorite step because it means the tutorial is complete and my nails are all done. For me, I like using this one for Model 1s. I feel like it's super shiny, and I kind of filmed this video like a week or two ago, and I'm looking at my nails right now and they still have that exact same shine and they're not scuffed up or stained at all, because sometimes with French tips, I've seen people have like the white part of the French tip look dulled out over time, and I've never had that happen with this top coat. And if you want your nails to look crisp afterwards, you have to finish file, you have to sharpen it up because you applied so many layers of polish and it kind of got dulled out. And the last step is to finish it all off with cuticle oil. I think this one from Beetles is so cute, like the little charms it has. But yeah, if you're a beginner out there, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you know where to go to find good products. I list all of them, and if you want to see any video in particular, please let me know. I'm here to help you guys on your nail journey, so please drop any questions you have down in the comment section. With that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and if you haven't already, make sure to like and follow to see more of my videos.